think that the last video I made was in November 2024, and on the end of that video I said, I'll see you again soon. And it wasn't until somebody wrote that in a comment that what he said at the end of the video, he lied. And then someone sending me this meme, I felt pretty guilty on the basis that I really appreciate all of the support that people who subscribe to this channel give to me. And so I felt a burden to make a video. And to be honest, I've been struggling to just get the time to make the videos because I've been enjoying spending time with my young son, who turned a year old yesterday. And then I was working away for a couple of months in France. So trying to catch up on the season, I had so much to do that it was hard to do the work whilst also filming the work, because naturally filming it changes the way that you're working and can affect the way you're able to concentrate if you have a very short period of time with which to do something. So like I might get half an hour to an hour to do the work that I need to do. To be able to shoot that as well as doing the work, I just haven't been managing to fit that into the schedule. So my apologies for keeping you all waiting for so long. With that in mind, I suppose we could do a little tour. I haven't prepared anything and there's still like chairs on the table in order that I had more space to get in and out. But I have managed to catch up a bit, and I'm hoping that by this time next month, the garden will start to be looking in better shape and the allotment will be in good shape. These aubergines, I've been really impressed with how quickly they've been producing. And the tomatoes. And my Crocosmia lucifer, such a reliable bit of colour at this time of year. I used to always go to the flowers, pinch the back, and you can see I feel like a kid again. I've got loads of stuff to do down at the allotment, so let's go down there for a minute. I'm pretty happy, even though I can show you loads of areas where it's chock full of weeds and needs loads of work, which is like pretty much all the areas, to be fair. But I've had a lot of joy with just using like hedge clippings and grass clippings as a mulch, which has really helped to just slow down the weeding. Whereas I did try and use a load of wood chip on my field of potatoes, but I'm not sure whether the wood chip had some weeds that had already started to set in it. I've already started harvesting some of them, but the yield on them isn't great. I wasn't too worried about the mare's tail in amongst it, because the mare's tail has such deep roots. It doesn't tend to draw too many nutrients away from the crops you're growing alongside it. So rather than worry too much about it, I just pull out what I can be bothered to pull out. And I'm still getting a yield from it. And considering I just, plonked them in the ground and then went away for months, I think potentially had it rained a bit more, the wood chip would have broken down more and would have provided extra growing media for the potatoes to grow into. But I'm still getting some potatoes out of it. And then I'm planning to, once I've taken out the earlies, which are in this part of the bed, I'm going to put up a polytunnel here. And so I've just been focusing on things like putting up structures, collecting as much rainwater as I can. So I'm harvesting the rainwater off the shed, not a particularly big shed, harvesting the rainwater off the greenhouse. And obviously I've got the water that comes into the pond that I've been making bigger, and then pumping that out to irrigate. So I've been trying to work on things that mean that I don't have the capacity to weed it all in the same way that I might do once I've got all of the structures established and I've got all of the water and those sorts of things in place. But considering that I've been away and I've been looking after my son a lot, I really don't feel like I've lost the fight here, even though somebody said to me when they came to look around the plot, "Oh, you've got a job on your hands." I think that this plot's got so many opportunities on it with the water that would often frighten people, but actually I see it as a massive opportunity. I've got my own water to be able to irrigate with. I don't need to go and turn on the tap. And although I've been late starting a lot of things, I think that they're going to do okay. So I've got the corn that's still pretty small over here. French beans and runner beans going up the poles. Certainly much further behind than a lot of people's and a lot of other plots. They're in the ground and they're starting to thrive. So I'm going to get some crops off of it, and I've been able to come down here and enjoy myself and enjoy this evening sunshine, which that's pretty much all I expect to get out of it. And then this sun gold is very close to being ripe, so I've taken it off because they do have a tendency to split, and this will fully ripen now if I just leave it on them. I mean, it's probably like perfectly fine to eat now, but I'm just going to wait to allow it to sweeten up just a little bit. But I'm pretty pleased with the fact that I've been away for the best part of the spring, and by early July I've got ripe tomatoes. I've been getting a few little heads of garlic. They haven't grown as big as I thought they might, but they were only one clove when I put them in. Anyway, I'm sorry that it took me such a long time to make another video. Thank you for coming back, and I really hope it isn't quite so long before I make another one.